Let's talk about an example of a small business that we just acquired. This is a residential and commercial painting business. My hope in breaking down this business is that you can get a better understanding for what's really possible when you think about buying small businesses. So we're going to talk about a painting company, a pretty straightforward business that I think everyone can understand. We paint houses and we paint businesses, so you get it so far. So let's get into the numbers and I'm going to show you how it all breaks down. So this business was doing about $1 million in revenue. And on that $1 million in revenue, it was making about $200,000 in profit. Okay, so a 20% margin on that business. So we purchased this business for $400,000. Okay, that's obviously a 2x multiple, 2 times multiple on what you see the profit of the business. You call it profit, cash flow. I'm not going to get into the difference in this video between profit and EBITDA and all that good stuff. We're going to try to keep it pretty simple so you can understand. So a lot of small businesses, when they sell, if they're making about $200,000, they may sell for anywhere from 2 to 3x that number. Now we got it for 2x at $400,000. So I'll put purchase price. So we bought it for $400,000. Now what people need to know about small business is a lot of times when the owner is selling, it's not all about money, it's not all about the business itself, it's about life changes. The number one reason I see people selling businesses is because of life changes, and this seller is no different than that. This seller was getting ready to move to Africa with his wife to take on mission trips and sort of start a new life over there. And so perfect timing for us that we could meet the seller and get ready to purchase the business. So let's go further into the math so you can understand the numbers. So this business was making, again, about $1 million in revenue, about $200,000 in profit. We bought it for $400,000. Again, 2x, 2 times profit. It's a pretty solid deal as far as that goes, but the deal gets even better when you think about the way the cash actually was structured. So $400,000 is what we bought the business for, but we only put $150,000 down in cash. So we'll say $150,000 in cash, and the other $250,000 we did in seller financing. I'll put SF, seller financing. So what seller financing means is that the seller of the business essentially becomes the bank. So instead of us giving them all the $400,000 up front, we give them $150,000, and then we pay the $250,000 over time. In this case, we paid it over 5 years at 5.5% interest. 5.5% interest. So let's go further into what those numbers mean. So if you do the math yourself, you can plug this into Claude or ChatGPT or anywhere you want, but $250,000 over 5 years at 5.5% interest. That equals in monthly payments, $4,793 per month. And over the year, you can do the math yourself, but it equates to be about, give or take, I think it was $57,000 and change per year, okay? So why does this deal make so much sense? $57,000 is what we're paying back to the seller every year for the first 5 years. And as you already know, because we've already talked about it, we're already making $200,000 in profit, right? So as we pay the seller off each month and essentially each year, even after we pay the $57,000 to the seller, you can subtract $200,000 minus $57,000. We still have obviously a little over $140,000 per year in free cash flow. So it's totally fine. We're making more than enough money to continue to pay back the seller and at the same time make some profit ourselves. Where it really gets good is as we grow the company. So it was doing $1 million when we bought the company. This year we'll do somewhere between $2 million to $2.5 million. And at a give or take 20% margin, which we're still maintaining, we will make on this around $400,000 to $500,000 in profit. And now that's obviously just year 2. As we go into year 3, year 4, year 5, we expect we'll do upwards of $3 million, $4 million, eventually get to around $5 million in year 5 in sales and bring about $1 million to the bottom line in profit. So this is why buying businesses is so compelling. If you think back to our example, we put down only $150,000 in cash, okay? So we put down only $150,000 in cash, and right away in the first year, we're cash flowing, almost $140,000. And as years go on, we make hundreds of thousands of dollars and eventually millions of dollars in profit by growing the business. That's why buying small businesses can be so compelling. You would have to look far and wide and probably get super lucky to find other businesses and opportunities where you could put down $150,000 in cash, and over the course of a few years, 4 years, 5 years, etc., that $150,000 that you invested turns into eventually millions of dollars. And so keep that in mind, that when you are looking to acquire businesses, often seller financing, meaning again, you paying the owner over time, can be one of the best ways for you to put just a little bit of cash down instead of putting all the purchase price down, pay the seller over time, grow the business, and you start to get a massive margin and a massive return on your $150,000 investment. That's why buying this painting business made total sense to us. And that's why in the world of buying small businesses, you can de-risk, eliminate some of your risk, put only some cash down instead of tons of cash down, and get a fantastic return as time goes on.